What's up, guys? Deus Ex Machina, DEM Sports. Welcome back to the channel. Another weekend, another loss, but team looked a little better. We didn't get blown out. We came in 15.5-point underdogs and only lost by 6 points. Scotty Fox put up the most passing yards by a true freshman in program history. I mean, TCU's defense isn't the greatest. We kind of knew that coming in. We've got a much bigger test this week in Houston. Their defense is a little bit more stout. I'll break down that in a minute. First, let's just get to some Big 12 housekeeping notes. Does this just rub anyone else the wrong way? Game day coming to Cincinnati, Utah. That's the game they chose to come to. I actually got angry whenever I saw that, and I've been leading the charge, bitching and moaning about game day only going to SEC and Big 12 schools. But this game, these two teams have no real history or rivalry. They're about as far apart geographically as you can get. I mean, Cincinnati, I guess, is technically still in the race for the Big 12 championship, but I mean, Utah's already got a couple losses. This game, I mean, yeah, it's a ranked versus ranked matchup, but it really doesn't have much big picture implications, in my opinion. And there's a much bigger game next week, a potentially top 10 matchup between Texas Tech, TCU, and BYU. That game has Big 12 title implications, college football playoff implications. Now, I mean, maybe game day will shock the hell out of me and come to Big 12 2 weeks in a row, but I really don't see it happening. They also had the perfect chance just a couple weeks ago to come to Utah versus BYU for the Holy War. It was the first ranked versus ranked Holy War in I forget how many years. I saw it online and I forget, but it was years and years. It was the first time they'd been ranked. Both teams have been ranked coming in, and I forget where they went. Some, SEC matchup, I'm sure. So that, I don't know, it almost feels like this is just the participation trophy, everybody gets one, it's okay, here's the Big 12 matchup we'll feature, and now we'll go back to, SEC and Big 10, and I'm sure ACC will probably get some crappy matchup, just the same, but I don't know, that just rubs me the wrong way, but, anyway. Some WVU sports housekeeping notes. Soccer team unfortunately suffered another loss on Sunday on the road to number 25 Kentucky. So we slipped once again in the rankings. We're down to number 19. This Friday, huge game coming up. I know it's supposed to rain in Morgantown. It's supposed to be kind of cold. I think it's supposed to be in the 40s. And it's Halloween. But man, if you guys can bundle up and get out there, we're playing number 11 Marshall. And WVU and Marshall have this, I mean, obviously we have a big rivalry no matter what, but in soccer especially, we've just had this back and forth for the last few years. West Virginia, as I'm talking the state of West Virginia, has really become the soccer state. WVU soccer and Marshall soccer are both pretty dominant in the college football or college soccer landscape. Marshall actually won the national championship just a few years ago, and WVU is national championship contenders, for the last couple of years. So try to get out there and support your team. This weekend is a huge matchup. Friday night, 7 p.m., Dick DeLuss Stadium. Get out there if you can. Next piece of housekeeping notes. This Pat McAfee talking on College Game Day about how he had to step up and cover cost because some donor backed out. I know a lot of people, they got all hung up on the donor backing out kind of deal of it. And I get that, that sucks. We lost a big donor and he didn't give us much. But is this really where we need to be talking about this? I mean, I know I love Pat McAfee and I love his raw, brutal honesty. But do we really need him going on national TV and talking about how some of these players were one day away from getting paid, from not getting paid? If you're a player and you're looking to go somewhere, do you want to go to a school that has to beg for money, to pay you? They can promise you all this stuff, but it might not come through. I'll tell you right now, if I'm looking for a job and I go to some place and they say, hey, we'll give you the job and we'll give you this much money and blah, blah, blah. And then I go online and read that, oh, last week they had to borrow money to pay their employees. I'm not going there. I'm not going to go there for a job. I don't know. This just that was my first reaction when I saw this was, I don't think that should have been, aired publicly like this. I think that should have been kind of kept behind closed doors. I appreciate that he did, in fact, step up and, take care of it and get it done. I mean, that's awesome. But man, I didn't like how he just kind of threw it out there for the world to see. Saturday night, the stadium was rocking. No 2-win team is going to fill a stadium like this. That is awesome to see. I was super happy with the way it came across on TV. I saw some, Barstool, Big 12 Barstool said that we had the worst crowd of the week, and I'm like, I'm assuming that you either never turned the game on or just assumed it was going to be a bad crowd because we only had 2 wins. We're 2-5, 2-6. But anybody who looked at that, the only thing I can even possibly figure is that because everybody was wearing black, it might have looked empty. But whenever you see pictures like this, that is awesome. So yeah, let's go ahead and roll into some football talk. So this week we've got Houston. We did a lot better against TCU. TCU's defense was not very good and allowed us to, really open up the passing game. We still didn't rush for very many yards, but we're much, and maybe that's what we needed was a bad defense like that for Scotty Fox to get some confidence, get some meaningful game time, some meaningful playing. We really had lots of opportunities to win that game, and it's a shame that we didn't. But Houston's defense is a little bit better, but are they really that much better? So TCU's defense gave up TCU's defense gives up 378 yards per game. Houston's defense 330. TCU's defense gives up 257 passing yards per game. So that was their big thing. It was like, oh, their passing defense isn't great. Well, Houston gives up 210. That's not that much better, in my opinion. And they both give up 120 rushing yards per game, like exactly the same amount of rushing yards per game. So, I mean, the big difference is going to be Houston likes to get after the quarterback. Houston is 4th in the Big 12 with 21 sacks, and West Virginia is 15th in the Big 12 in sacks allowed, giving up 22 sacks. So that's where we really need to get better, because even TCU had a few just defenders running free with no blockers on them. So we really got to get in, we really got to deal with that. But offensively, West Virginia lines up pretty well with Houston. We're putting up 352 yards per game. They're putting up 381. So we're 14th in the Big 12. They're 12th in the Big 12. Passing yards, we're 15th in the Big 12 at 176 passing yards per game. And we're 6th in the Big 12 with 176 rushing yards per game. So you don't get much more balance than that. We're literally averaging the exact same amount of rushing yards and passing yards per game. They're 12th in the Big 12 passing at 210 and 8th in rushing at 171. So we actually have more rushing yards per game than them. So offensively, we're not that different from each other. And defensively, Houston, statistically at least, isn't that much better than TCU. Now, I'll be honest, I haven't really watched a whole lot of Houston play. I understand they've got some really good playmakers, so maybe the stats just don't show it. Maybe Houston's just played a tougher schedule. Maybe TCU played some more cupcakes in the non-conference schedule and racked up a bunch of stats. But statistically on paper, it doesn't seem like Houston is all that much better. So, I mean, fingers crossed that we can actually hang with Houston. I would love to see us get some revenge for that Hail Mary there 2 years ago. That game still burns my ass, that when they completed that Hail Mary to win on the final play of the game. But yeah, that would be great to go down there, get a win over a ranked team, a ranked opponent. We there was some stat of like it's been decades since we were on like a 6-game losing streak, and we've never started the season 0-6 in conference play. So let's not make history for the wrong reasons this year. Let's get a win on the road. So that's basically all I've got. I have another topic that I really want to talk about, but I just had so much little things to go over this one. I'm gonna just have to start making 2 videos a week again. I've just been so busy with my gaming channel that I haven't been able to focus as much on getting this channel up and going as I wanted. But in the meantime, have a great rest of your weekend. Like I said, get out there on Friday night and support the soccer team if you can. And Saturday noon on Fox Sports 1. Let's go Mountaineers. Cheers, everybody. Have a great weekend.